Happy New Year to all you Arians. We're going to have a look at your astrology and the tarot spread for 2023 and what you can expect. So Aries has a really good start to the year. You have Jupiter has just moved into Aries, which puts it into your first sector. So when it's in your first sector, this is when it can be really projected out and really utilised in a very direct and obvious way. So with Jupiter there, it's going to mean that you're going to be wanting to expand a lot on your previous ideas. It means that, you know, business plans or any areas where you feel that you are wanting to move forward. New growth, new learning, new business, new financial situations. You know, these are all the things, you know, that you can expect this year. So there's going to be some good news going on around the middle of this month. Mercury at the moment is retrograde, and it's going to be stationing, which means it's when it stops to move forward around the 17th and 18th. Now, at that time, it makes a nice square to this Jupiter. So with the Mercury-Jupiter, that's when you get to really communicate ideas, when you really get to communicate, you know, how you can move forward. It's also a very good time for productive growth, time for negotiations, time to be, discussing, how, business ideas or anything where you feel like this is the direction that you're wanting to move forward in. Mercury Jupiter often relates to negotiations. It relates to, it can be settling legal things, but generally it's about paperwork and signing paperwork, which is very productive. So positive legal news could be happening around that time for Aries and any Aries sun sign or ascendant. So that's going to be, you know, a really good start for everybody for this new year, for January. But, you know, especially for Aries, you've got it in quite potent places of your 10th house, which is your career, and your first house, which is, you know, you out there in the world, in the public eye. So again, you know, in January is a great time to be looking at the changes that you're wanting. Also, you've got Sun conjunct, there's a Sun conjunct Pluto happening in Capricorn on the 18th, and that's going to be in your 10th house. So again, that's going to emphasize, you know, the 10th house or the 10th sector is all about what direction you're going in, where you want to be, where you want to, you know, so your vision, your ideas, they're going to be very forward thinking, forward moving. It won't be just your immediate changes, it'll be what you're really wanting as a bigger picture. With the Sun Pluto, this is really, you know, a time when you can take your position of power. If you've been having struggles or difficult situations with bosses or authority figures, you've had Pluto sitting there in the 10th house for a while, and it will be continuing for a bit longer. This is when you're really transforming how you feel about your career and your direction. And, you know, again, the 10th house is your bigger picture. It's your desire to reach to the top. So it's where you're looking at, you know, where can you expand and grow. Sun Pluto conjunct that, you know, is when you really get to initiate the change, and you really get to, if you've been feeling disempowered with this Pluto, it can weigh heavy sitting there in the 10th house, and situations can feel completely out of your control. It really means that you can take more control back and start to really plan your future in a much stronger way. So Uranus sits in your second house, and so it's been sitting in your second house for quite a while. And, you know, as long as it's in Taurus, it's in your second sector, and with that, you know, it's been creating a restlessness around finances and security. It's been also, you know, a time where you may be really wanting more freedom with regards to your situations around finances and around security. You know, so that sort of can create sudden changes or sudden new ideas or inspirations coming through to create changes. It does look like with as far as moving forward into better financial situations for Aries, a lot of that seems to be coming through the through connections to you, close connections. So we have, some really strong aspects going on all year, like Node is squaring Pluto. And with having the node there sitting in your second house relative to, again, finances and security, Pluto is going to be starting to square this in by March. And this means there's really fated situations around connections. Now, this is soul connections, this is relationships. It's also about, fated connections of people that are meant to come in and be, assisting you for making changes. So, Aries is really, going to be moving forward, through their own innovative ideas, but also through the fated connections and changes that are happening around this time. You have Saturn is sitting in your 11th house, and it's been sitting there for a while as well, but it is going to be moving into the 12th by the 8th of March. So with it sitting in your 11th, this would mean that's over the last sort of 12 to 18 months, it could be a bit of a not such a sociable time for Aries, with it. The 11th house relates to friendships, also relates to communities and working in teams. So, with the 11th house here, it's sort of, Saturn, sitting there. It's really quite the opposite to that. It's really feeling more unsociable, or feeling like, you really could be quite dubious about your connections, or you may have been cutting away from connections for a while. By March, as it moves into the 12th, it means that, that sort of gives that 11th house a bit of a break, and, better situations around friendships, new friendships coming in, especially with these Pluto node connections. But if you've been feeling like that house has been a bit restricting, as in your friendship situations, limited or even non-existent, that will start to change by March as it moves into the 12th. Saturn in the 12th isn't going to be so difficult on a physical level. It's it may bring up some fears, may bring up some deep-seated past life fears, and that you don't really understand. But this is all going to be working at a deeper unconscious level, and possibly coming out more through through deeper states, through sleep time or through meditations. Neptune's been sitting in your 12th, and that's sort of been its placement for a while, and will be continuing on for the rest of the year. And again, like I said, anything in the 12th house, it's more at an unconscious level. So, Neptune there, it means that, Aries has been had plenty of opportunities to be developing your intuition, while Neptune's been sitting there in that 12th sector. It's also been bringing them to, again, states of reconnecting to their gifts to do with past lives, reconnecting to who they are at a much deeper spiritual level. Again, I did cover Pluto in your 10th house and your 10th sector. Of course, if it's your ascendant, then it would be your 10th house. And like I said with that, I would say you've been going through, because this has been going on with Pluto and Capricorn for quite a while now. So, for a few years now, you've been really feeling you've had no control over your career direction, that circumstances have, sort of pulled you in certain directions, and it's been made it quite difficult to, to really take control. Of course, if you've got, positive aspects, it could be quite the opposite, where there's been a point where you've gone, okay, it could have even been, like this has been going on for the last 2, 3, 4 years. You could have been, feeling like, no, this is me taking control of my life. But then at the same time, there's been, again, an outside force still underliningly trying to control that. So, with Pluto sitting there in the 10th, we are coming to the end of that, as we're coming to the end of Pluto being in Capricorn. And as it moves into your 11th house, I feel like it's, again, this is going to feel huge relief, as you will feel that you've transformed, and you've been going through this whole transformation of career during this period of Pluto and Capricorn, to being able to really utilise it, and feeling again that you are back in the control seat. So the node is it's a mathematical point. The node relates to, it's called the moon's node, and we have two nodes. We have a south node and a north node. So the north node sits in the second house, and the south node sits in the eighth house for Aries. So with the south node in the eighth house, that again relates to past life connections. It relates to clearing away a lot of old karma, and that is the cycle that you've been in, and it's one that you will be coming out of by June this year. With it sitting in the second house, it also the north node is where the south node relates to your past. The north node relates to your future. It relates to where you're wanting to go, why you're here, what you're wanting to really achieve while you're here in this lifetime. And with it sitting here in your second house, the priority has been wanting security, wanting to, really achieve a lot more within your goals around finances and, security and assets. But also the second sector or house also relates to your value system. And so with the node there, it's about bringing in those that are very much in alignment with you within the same values. And so there will be times when this has been an issue or been a point of conflict through your personal connections. And the node can be family, it can be your partner, it can be your children, it can just be associates and people you work around, but it is about, are they lining up with the same values as me? And so that would, definitely be part of the issues brought up for you during this time and still up to the first half of this year. By the 18th of the 6th, the node goes into the first house, and this is going to be great because, with the positive energies going on with your first and new energies coming into your second, with Jupiter going into your second house in May, but then around June, then the node goes into the first. It's like they do a swap. It means that, again, this is a great time for new connections that are going to be, immediately in your environment, changes, new people that you could be working with, new people that you could be living with, or just new associates, new friendships, new connections, or new romances. But, with the node in the first house, this will definitely be highlighted as your connections and your associations are going to have a really important part of your future. So I did cover Mars for Aries, but I've only covered up to March because it's moving quite quickly. But it has been in Gemini for quite a long time, as it did quite a slow retrograde back over the last few months. So it's been sitting in your third house, for 3 or 4 months now, and it moves out on the 25th of March. So with Mars in your third house, this has been a time when you've had a lot to do with, family, your siblings, connections around that, also communications, and would have been a good time for writing or working with those that, you feel a close connection to, or like-mindedness with. Once it moves into your fourth house, this could be a time, that's again the 25th of March, a time when you're sort of really going to focus on your home situation with fourth house or fourth sector. It's all about the home, so you could be looking at either moving or making some changes, or even deciding to work from home, or renovations around the home situation. So Aries, shall we have a look at the cards for you guys? I probably should have been shuffling when I was talking about the astrology. See, when I was talking about important connections coming in, like I said, for Aries, I think it's going to be more so really strong from April to June. But around the 28th of January, you've got a Sun square node. So this could be, sort of a bit of a trigger point for making new connections that are really important to the future. It also means, too, that family or, situations around family are going to take priority during that time around the 28th. So, Aries. Now, this is covering for the whole year for Aries. So, let's have a look. What does the universe want Aries to know about? These cards that I use are the Morgan Greer pack. It's a pack that was developed in America, and I was given this pack 30 years ago, and I've never really moved to anything else. I've got probably 50 packs of all sorts of types of cards, crystal cards, astrology cards, energy cards. But as far as tarot goes, I just absolutely love this pack. It works really well for the water signs and the earth signs. Okay, Aries, what can you expect? Try not to bump the table and shake this video around. Okay, so when I was talking about control and having that personal control, this seems to be coming up automatically. And it's saying that you're going to have relief from that. So I didn't feel it was, it's been a slow process, Pluto. You probably got used to it by now anyway. But you will notice the shift and the differences. Like I said, Pluto moves into Aquarius because, just getting out of that 10th area. It's quite an important placement, the 10th house, for your clear direction. It's just going to feel like, the universe has been lining everything up for you. It's been saying, I have control here, it's sort of been saying, don't worry, you're going to get, the controls back, but let me just stay in the driver's seat for a bit longer because I'm going to be opening up doors that you would not have expected or have been able to create for yourself. So Pluto does have that fated quality to it. So, yes, this is again confirming what I was saying with Aries for your creative energy and also for your intuitive energy, which has been really enhanced over the last period of time with Neptune sitting there in the 12th sector. So it does look like for Aries there's some good news coming forward, and I feel like as it comes in, it's almost like you're not going to be that surprised. It's like you are expecting it, even though you may not know about it yet. It's like your intuition is so finely tuned that you anticipate there's going to be a very busy year for yourself with lots of plans and direction and focus going on. There seems to be good news about moving forward, and see with Jupiter sitting there in your first sector, it's really giving you guys, the forward movement that you're needing to initiate new ideas and new plans. And surrounding that, it's showing very good news and success. So, that's going to be quite instant. But with these changes that I was describing, these new plans, this is something you're really wanting. Even if you don't know today what it is that you're wanting, or, it's something that you have been actually sort of wanting at an unconscious level or even a conscious level, depending on your awareness, for quite some time. So again, here I'm also getting the confirmation that, it's not what you know, well, it's not just what you know, it's also who you know. And there's going to be some really, a real lift up coming, for finances and for security in the future. And it's going to be like a leg up where you may have thought this is something I could not have achieved without this particular help. So it's a great time for Aries to be, making decisions about their careers, but especially business. And like with Pluto going through that 10th sector, it has been a time of, dissolving your ideas around work or your ideas around what you're wanting for your career. And, Aries do like to be in charge of their own thing, and they do like to be working for themselves generally. And this is showing here with the Emperor, which is very much an Aries card around the work situation and making decisions around that, sort of saying you're going to be making decisions about either being your own boss or being more in control of your workspace. So it has been a struggle for Aries, in the sense of trying to get something to move forward. We've had a lot of, retrogrades going on, but we do have, a time here, and I think it's down somewhere. I think it's from mid-January, when Uranus goes direct. Let me check this. Where we have no retrogrades, and it's sort of showing here that, again, full speed ahead, and this will be relevant for everybody, but I feel especially for Aries, mainly because of these planets and where they're placed in the sectors, and because Uranus is going direct this month. Yes, it's the 22nd of January. Now, Uranus is a very slow-moving planet, so it really is like January, February, March. Uranus is just sitting still as it's going from back, moving the apparent motion of moving backwards to the apparent motion from our view of moving forwards, just sitting in the same place. And what it does is it really means this is a Uranus month for a lot of people. So it's a month where we can expect the unexpected. And so where I was going with that was Uranus is sitting in your second sector, and so it's going to be, quite exciting around your financial situation. And here I've got in your environment really good news about money that can be accessed or utilised that you may not have really known that you'd be able to utilise, and it seems to be coming through your environment. So this isn't money that you're already got. This isn't money that you're working, towards, or that you will get if you sell something. This is money that is coming from outside into your environment. So it's and it's coming in quickly. So I know quite what that means for Aries, but it looks really good because you've already, before this happens, decided what you really want to do financially, and you've already decided what you want to create for yourself, and you may be thinking, how can I financially make this work, and when will I be able to do this? And so you start to get your plan into place. But with this big leg up, really, with the financial situation shifting around you for you guys, this means that you can really go in full force and move forward a lot faster than you thought you'd be able to. So again, anyone who's been feeling, with the Pluto sitting up there again in the 10th, been feeling a bit squashed or been feeling like a bit worn out, really, through their working situation, or, this is just confirming control, coming back into that, but it's sort of saying the Aries are, we all are responsible for creating our own realities, our own worlds, but Aries are very good at initiating changes and very good at making and creating their circumstances. And, it's sort of saying that you've been feeling like you haven't been able to utilise or do that to the degree that you'd normally have at hand. And, and you've been feeling a bit weakened by that. This is saying, no, coming out, you're going to be coming out of this paradigm, this way of thinking, because here I'm reading your thoughts where it's been feeling like it's been a bit tough. But the reality is that, you don't have a tough year this year. You have a year where, you may have had some struggles in the past, or you've had to make do financially, but it's also been a year where you've actually shifted and changed a lot of your values as well. And what has been really so important to Aries is also shifting and changing. So for Aries, if there's any message of advice for Aries, it's about being open. Be open to receiving, because it's showing here at the base here, others wanting to give, others wanting to assist or help. Now, Aries likes to do things their way, their way or the highway, so to speak. Not quite like a Leo energy, but it is there a little bit in the sense of if it's to do with their career again, or their direction, their plans, their ideas. This is sort of saying, be open to others helping and assisting, be open to incorporating new things, and really start to utilize your unique skills and unique abilities. Aries is also, like I said, because you've been going through situations of change to do with friendships, sort of saying, again, being open to that, and it's like you're for some reason, there seems to be this sense of caution, the sense of where, yeah, just being a bit cautious of situations around people. And Saturn is, again, it's been in the 11th house, and it's moving out of that. Like I said, it moves out in March, so this shouldn't be too much of an issue after March. But with it there on the 12th, it may sort of bring up anything. It will be a time to clear any fears. But, the good news is there's no devil card here, so your fears aren't really the issue here for Aries this year. So I'm going to just do another spread, just as I like to do a second layer, just to see, to go a bit deeper with it. It is actually going to be, there's going to be some plans for travel, and I think this is what's going to be picked up in this next spread actually with Aries. Like I said, there's extra money coming in, so this is about expanding and growing, especially if you're a business person. Feels like you can extend and expand bigger than your immediate environment, and Aries has been encouraged to do that. So yeah, fantastic year for Aries. And a very fated year for Aries for these changes, especially around the people that are coming into your life. So again, this is confirming the Uranus node, Pluto, Venus combinations that we've got going on around the middle of the year. So it's going to be a year of moving towards success. There's still, some areas where Aries has to be patient, it's not really their forte, but it's sort of saying just with situations, especially around security, if you're wanting to purchase property or make changes to property, and I did feel like that was going to be something quite possible with Aries, and move or adding to their assets and security. There does seem to be some, if you're not happy in your home situation, if it doesn't feel like you can work in a creative way as well in the home situation, you may be looking at making a move. Sort of saying, hold on to some of the money here that you've got. Don't throw all your eggs into one basket with regards to business, or when into just one area, because it feels like there's just to sit back and wait and just see what's happening on the broader scale of things. When I say the broader scale, it's more in the outer world, what's going on with the world with regards to finances at that time, where you just may want to sit back and just wait before you take action. So that's going to make sense for something that I feel is more to do with purchasing, where I really don't feel like you've been held back with regards to moving forward with all your plans and goals and direction. When it comes to the bigger asset situations, there just may be a little bit of a hold on that for some reason. So again, very much fated connections, fated people coming into your life, and not just about, because like I said, it's been a time of really a lot of soul connections coming to life over the last year, but also been sort of moving away from others that, like I said, are not in the same value system as yourself. So there's new people coming in. I can see a lot of teamwork going on, very important teamwork going on for Aries this year. It's also going to be an area of learning, so being open to learning new things, and being open to that adaptability that's needed within this situation, because it is about teams. So that looks quite interesting for Aries as far as expanding themselves, because again, a lot, they come up with their own ideas, and they're very good at working for themselves, with themselves, and organising others in that situation. But in this situation, it's sort of about working with people on the same level as well. So there's, like an opening, an opportunity to really expand for those areas that have been working really hard and really wanting to achieve success and even recognition in some situations, and those that have moved forward with confidence. This is a year for recognition. This is a year for success and reaping the rewards of your hard work that has gone on for the last few years. And again, this is going to be shared the celebration and the enjoyment of this is going to be shared with others. So there'll be a lot of people or others around you, may even just be a couple of people around you that you will feel will, you'll be very grateful for their assistance, help, and contribution to it. So for Aries that have been on their own, it looks like relationships could be really strong this year. Like I said, there's quite a lot of strong fated situations coming up. There could also be plans for commitment, marriage, or just settling into new situations with others. Because, for any Aries that have been unsettled or not being able to settle, you will be looking at that because with these, you don't often get these combinations. In fact, Pluto only covers half of an astrology wheel, in a lifetime. So this will be a once-off with some of these Pluto situations that you've got going on in these particular areas. And, it's like you're being set up for future security. But this isn't just about finding a partner and feeling secure. This is about finding your true spiritual partner, finding your spiritual family, finding those that you are your true family, at the level where you fully understand each other without even a spoken word at times. So, it's a really industrious year for Aries. It's a year where their ingenuitive ideas and pioneering ideas can really be expressed and utilised through communicating with others as well. But again, we're talking teamwork, we're talking communicational skills, and again, arranging and working with teams of people where we're almost teacher and student at the same time. So, there's a lot of learning going on this year for Aries. So I hope you found that helpful for Aries, and it's going to be a wonderful 2023. There's really nothing here that looks that difficult, to be honest. It's a year where you're going to be actually rewarded for a lot of your hard efforts. The only thing, that was sort of coming up with the issue was sort of saying, don't hold on to anything too hard. If things are shifting and moving away from your reality, just allow it. If you're feeling like things aren't moving forward in a situation, then just try to be patient. But it's sort of the only warning of caution or anything else is sort of saying with finances or with purchasing, just hang on. Don't be in too much of a rush to have your own thing or to step into your own thing at a finance, because it's sort of saying you don't need to spend a lot at this point in time. And if you're just patient, you'll see why things are going to actually pan out a lot better through just sitting back and being patient. So I think what it is for Aries is the year starts off with like a bit of a rocket, and things move forward really, really quickly. And then as you move into, as we're getting to sort of April, May, and everything starts to go retrograde again, you're going to go, oh, I don't want this hold up. Everything was moving, it's been hold ups after hold ups, and everything was moving so smoothly. And Aries doesn't like to be stopped in its tracks, but quite often that's always just for a bit of a readjustment, just for a bit of a re-look at things, and to see, my where I really want to be, and is this going to be the best I can do? A little bit like a situation when you think you find a property, you think this is it, this is the one you've got to have, and you don't get that, and then the next property is actually the perfect property, and when you're in that property, you go, well, thank goodness the universe intervened and didn't let me purchase that other property. So it's one of those situations where the universe is intervening and helping to direct you. But to be honest, you're going to feel like you have more control in your life and in your plans and in your direction than you've had for a while now. And this has been what the lesson for Aries has been over this period of time. And I think I want to go back for sort of 5, 7 to 6 years of feeling those, some circumstances haven't quite been in your control, but also just breaking down what you thought you'd be doing to what you really want to do for your future career. So thanks, guys, and enjoy your day. Bye.